What's up, everybody? Welcome to Financial Tip Tuesdays. Today we are talking about financial success and how to get to how to get to a point in your life where you feel like you are financially successful. And I mean, what it comes down to really is having an effective budget that you can live by and that you can set up and ride into the future. And a lot of people that I talk to understand these concepts but have a very hard time of figuring out how to start, where to start, and kind of how to get the ball rolling in this process. And so what I want to talk to you today about is a very simple budget that I kind of live by. And so we're going to focus first on three separate buckets that we're going to set up within your budget. So our first bucket here is a bucket that's set up to pay off any debt that we may have incurred up until this point. And so this may be car payments, house payments, credit card bills, anything that you have that's an outstanding debt that you need to pay back. It's very important, and this is our first bucket, because we need to make sure that we're making those payments so that we don't incur additional penalties and stuff like that for those payments, so that we don't lose more money. Our second bucket here is the bucket that goes into our everyday expenses. So this is our everyday expenses. And so this is our rent, our groceries, our utilities, other bills that are necessary for us to live day to day. And our third and final bucket, and I like to make this our biggest bucket, is what I call our growth bucket. And so this is the bucket that we're going to focus on to really build our financial success and our future and build our future wealth. So within this bucket, this is where you're going to set up a separate savings account that you don't necessarily go in and touch. You're not going to dip into this bucket at all unless you have to, absolutely have to, for an emergency situation or something else like that. Within this bucket, this is where we're going to handle all of our investments into 401ks, either through an employer or into IRAs, and if we're underneath the qualification limits for IRAs, we're going to invest in our IRAs in this bucket. This is also the bucket that we're going to take and invest into the market, into ETFs and other index funds like that have very low fees in order for us to grow our wealth over time and continue that snowball effect from the compounding interest and stuff like that. Obviously, what we're going to do from here on out is we're not going to incur any more debt. We're going to pay off all the vehicles. We're going to pay off our house. We're going to pay off all the credit card bills in order to avoid interest and fees and other things like that absolutely drain your bank account month to month. What else you got to think of is living within your means. Don't go out to dinner every night. Stuff like that really also puts a huge effect on your bank account and your potential for long-term growth. We want to get as much of the money down into this growth bucket as we can in order to start that snowball effect, to start that building of true wealth and long-term financial success. So I know that this is simple stuff that you hear on a daily basis probably, but this is kind of a few simple steps that I set up and when I talk to people about how to start looking into a budget and to start figuring out what to do and how to handle their situation. It's best to sit down with your bank statements for the prior month and go through what expenses that you have are reoccurring, what can you live without, what can you not live without, and start to build your budget and to make sure that you're really keying in to your financial situation in order to make it so that you can flow as much down into our final bucket and really reap the benefits of that compounding interest over time. If you have any questions or any concerns, please feel free to reach out to me. My name is Stephen Gabrielson. My email is steven@slgadvising.com, and my website is www.slgadvising.com. Please feel free to reach out, send me a message if you have any questions about this or anything else that we've talked about. That wraps up another episode of Financial Tip Tuesdays. Thanks, guys.